Good morning, everybody. Dawn, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, we got a lot to go over today, you guys. I'm feeling a little bit better. You can maybe tell by my voice. So, we're going to try and get through this without a lot of coughing. I think that's pretty much settling down for the most part. So, I hope you guys are all doing well. Hope none of you got sick like I did. And we're going to go over these new documents. There has been a ton, you guys, of documents that have been dropped over the last, I would say, week. A lot of things have been unsealed. We've got a few of those to go over. I'm not going to be able to get to them all today, but I'm going to get to some of the important ones. There's the 911 call. There's the text messages during and after the incident from Bethany and Dylan Mortensen. The 911 call is really interesting. We've also got a list that we're going to go over that the prosecution has filed with a lot of their evidence, a lot of the evidence, a lot of the video evidence, stuff like that. I've always said in this case, you can see what the defense is most afraid of by what they're fighting the hardest for. Okay, so there is a lot that has come out and has been unsealed, like I said. We can't go over it, all of it today, or we would be here for 24 hours straight trying to get through it. Good morning, K. Mitch. Thank you. I am feeling a lot better. I'm still not 100% yet, but my nose has finally cleared. So that's probably why my voice is a little better. The chest is still really congested, but it is getting better. So I don't wish this, you guys, on anybody. Like, I've been fighting it. And I had it, and then it seemed like it was going away. I had a couple good days, and then the second round hit me, and it hit me hard. So if you guys do get this cold flu thing that's going around, just watch, because you start feeling better for a day or so, and then the second round hits you, and like, I was in bed. Like, I could barely move. I sat there and watched YouTube. You know what I mean? It's like I haven't watched so much YouTube in my life. But anyway, and going through documents and reading through stuff and trying to get the most important ones that I think that you guys are really going to want to see, especially this evidence from the prosecution. We're going to get to that. There's one here that I'm going to start off with. It's really short. It's 3 pages, but it's short. Okay. Just to show you one of the documents that Ann Taylor filed. And I'm seeing a lot of Bicca Barlow, this new attorney that they've added, filing a lot of these motions that they're filing. So, yeah. Jean P., good morning. Thank you. Thank you, Jean. Louie Lou, hello. Dacia Do, hello. Jean P. says, Willow, this horrible crime in Moscow has haunted my dreams. Yeah, it has. Like, I'm just hoping, you guys, it goes ahead in August. That's all I'm hoping. Jean P., same thing happened to me, back-to-back illnesses, and I never experienced that. Yeah, I haven't experienced something like this, you guys, in years. Like, I've been getting, I don't know, I feel like once I hit 60 now, oh my God, you guys, I feel so old, but I still feel so young. I felt once I hit 50, things started going downhill. Like I was never one to get sick, and it just seems like back to back. You're very welcome, Gene P. Okay, so let's get into it, you guys. Like I said, wait till you see the prosecution, some of their evidence. I will bring up, I'm going to save that till last, you guys, because I don't want to overload my computer here because I want to bring up maps to show you where these places are that the prosecution is talking about. And if you guys remember back when we were talking about this, and I said, don't go just by what's in the probable cause affidavit. They've got so much more. And this evidence list, and it's not even all of the evidence they have, it's just some of it, is going to show you why I said that. And I could say that, you guys, because I worked on so many, like in my 30 years working in law, I worked on so many criminal cases that I know in probable cause affidavits, you put the bare minimum, okay? Because you don't want to show your whole hand at first. So until you have to start with your disclosures and everything else and whatnot. But anyway, never mind that. Let's get to this. And I want to bring this up. Give me 2 seconds. I am going to try and mute every time I have to cough or whatever, but it's getting far and few between. Yes, welcome everybody. Okay, so this is the one that I wanted to show you. And when I was talking about Ann Taylor, she is just going after everything. At this point, they know that it looks like Bryan Kohberger's butt is cooked. She's not winning like she used to in Latah County. She's a lot of her stuff is being denied. This new judge is like no holes barred type. I'm sticking to the book, and this is the way it is in my courtroom. She's not able to scold the judge anymore. She's not allowed to overtalk the judge or tell the judge how things should be going. So we're seeing this judge is a lot harder on both the prosecution and the defense. Okay. Because I have seen him scold the prosecution too, so it's not just the defense. But I like his style. If you hear clicking, that's me taking a sip. I got my hot tea here with my lemon and my honey in it. So ignore that clicking if you hear it. That's me opening and closing it. So this is one of the documents I'm saying, like, she's just going after everything and hoping she can get at least something tossed, right? Now, we know what kind of trial this is, okay? This is her motion in limine number 3, the use of the term redrum. Right, Gene P. And this, it goes for both sides. And I like it because I like it when a case is staying on track. You know what I mean? So, but this is one of her motions that I found like, you do remember what kind of trial you are in right now, right? So she wants to totally disbar the prosecution from using this word right here. Okay? We can't say it here. If you do say it, please say either red drum or mask it. But she does not want them to be able to use this term. So let's see what she says here. Comes now Bryan C. Kohberger by and through his attorneys of record, and hereby moves the court for an order prohibiting the use of the words. I'm just going to highlight them. Look at this. Look at all these. Red drum, red drum. This. Like, how can you have a case without using these words, especially in this kind of case, right? And the red drum weapon. And similar forms of the word red drum. applied to Bryan Kohberger during the trial of this matter. This motion is not seeking a prohibition of the use of the word red drum or its varying forms in the charging document or jury instructions. So you can use it in the charging document, you can use it in the jury instructions, but you can't use it in regards to Bryan Kohberger. Do you remember what trial you are doing here? You know? Motion is made pursuant to ICR 47 IRE 403 701 702 and the 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendments to the United States Constitution and Article 1, Section 13 of the Idaho Constitution. Whether the, and I'm going to highlight words that we can't say, whether the at issues are red drum as allegedly committed by Bryan Kohberger or by an alternate suspect or someone still unknown is the ultimate issue. Each side will present this very argument to the jury. It is a matter of fact to be found by the jury after the court instructs the jury with the applicable instructions. To label Mr. Kohberger as this, the alleged weapon consistent with an empty sheath as this weapon, or to assert that any of the four descendants was this, by Mr. Kohberger denies his right to a fair trial and the right to be presumed innocent. Well, I don't know what she's getting at here, but this is like so far-fetched. IRE 403 allows exclusion of evidence that is unfairly prejudicial to a party. Well, this is what this whole trial is about. So to exclude these words is to exclude what happened. These 4 college students were brutally red drummed. So how she thinks this will even fly, I don't know. The use of the word red drum during the course of the trial is unfairly prejudicial. Well, you know what was unfairly prejudicial was the red drum of these 4 college students in their own home, in that it asserts a factual and legal conclusion of the evidence, a determination which is left to the jury. The prosecutor, law enforcement, and medical examiner are viewed with authority and respect by most jurors. So she doesn't want law enforcement, medical examiner, nobody use this word or any variation of this word, except for in, where is it up here? Except for in the charging document or jury instructions. When persons with authority speak, lay people tend to believe their statements and conclusions. If the prosecution and or its witnesses use these words in its case in chief, it would improperly imply to the jury that it is the prosecutor or witness's belief or opinion that the defendant is guilty of red drum. Well, Ann Taylor, come on now. Let's read that again. If the prosecution and or its witnesses use these words in its case in chief, which is when the prosecution presents its case against Bryan Kohberger, it would improperly imply to the jury that it is the prosecutor or witness's belief or opinion that the defendant is guilty of red drum. Well, we all know that is their belief because they have him on trial for 4 counts of red drum. What is she saying here? Has she been drinking? Oh my. Oh my. This is improper opinion testimony under IRE 701, 704. It is improper for the prosecution to express a personal belief. It's not just a personal belief. He's on trial for it. It's their belief he did it or they wouldn't be able to bring him to trial. Come on, Ann. Like, this is what I mean. It's stuff like this that you're grasping at straws, right? What do you guys think? Like, it is impossible to do a trial like this without mentioning this word, without projecting to the jury that you think he is guilty of this. They say it in their opening statements. And they're going to say it. The evidence is going to show that he did it. We believe he red drummed these 4. That's normal in opening statements. He's on trial for it. Oh, okay. It's improper for the prosecution to express a personal belief unless the comment is based solely on inference, expert testimony that concerns conclusions, or opinions that the average juror is qualified to draw from the facts utilizing the juror's common sense and normal experience is inadmissible. What? I don't know. I don't know if Anne, I know she's getting overwhelmed. I don't know if she's taken up drinking or something before writing these, but this just sounds ridiculous. Bryan Kohberger requests an order prohibiting the lawyers and witnesses from using the words red drum, red drummer, red drummed, red drum weapon, as well as derivative forms of the word red drum. Like, this is just crazy. It's like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't a lawyer. I was a paralegal that worked for a very prominent criminal lawyer. And I did a lot of these forms. And even myself would never write something like this. Ever. I would be the laughing stock of the office. Right? So for an actual lawyer to write up something like this is just unbelievable. But let's move on. So here's the 911 call. Are you guys with me? And like I said, I'm going to wait. The next is going to be the text messages, and then we're going to get into the evidence, okay, that the prosecution has put in this motion. And it's a lot, you guys. It's so much more than what we thought. And this still probably, well, I know it's not all of it. This is just a piece of of the evidence. And there's probably about, I would say 40 or 50 different things somewhere in that area. And it's really interesting, but we need maps. So I can show you where these places are, where they got other camera footage and everything. I can show you on the map. And there's a lot of this I didn't know. Okay? We're going to get to that, Gene. We're going to get to that. They've got videos of that. I haven't been able to get to that yet. I can maybe show that if we have time at the end. I just want to get through these documents. So let's keep the discussion to these ones for now. And then if I do have time, Gene P, I will show those photos. Oh, I got something in my eye. I'll show those photos of the new pictures. They're not really that great. They're taken from, see, this is why I didn't want to get off track here. The house on the corner there, where he would have had to go right by that house with the outside light camera thing there. She took some of the worst screen grabs from that video that you could get. So it looks to all of us like you can't decipher which car it is. But we've seen video off of that camera and it's pretty clear. So why she put the worst, grainiest photos that she could in screenshots from that video, I don't know. But if we have time, I will show it at the end. Okay, so here is the state's motion in limine for the 911 call. Comes now the state of Idaho, by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney, and respectfully moves to court for an order in limine allowing the state to admit the recording and transcript of the 911 call because Ann Taylor wants it out. She wants everything out. Every bit of evidence they have, she wants excluded. Facts. The facts pertinent to the issue raised by this motion can be found in the attached excerpts from the grand jury's transcript, State's Exhibit S1, the 911 call recording, and State's Exhibit S2, and the transcript of the 911 call states Exhibit S3. So I'm not going to read through all of this. I'll go through it slow enough so that if you do want to read this, I want to get to the 911 call. So the argument is A, the statements on the 911 call are hearsay, but fall within firmly rooted hearsay exceptions and should be allowed. And he cites different cases here to back up his okay. Um, okay. Okay. In the case at bar, most of the declarations made were present sense impressions. HJ. Who is HJ? Do you guys, any of you guys know who this is? HJ. Who's HJ? Let me just get my right highlighter here. Who is HJ? And who is EA? Does anybody know? No, there is a video, and I have seen video from that camera, Jeff, and hello, good morning. I've seen video not from this case, but the people that live there did show their video camera and what that video camera captured and how clear it was. And it was just like from beforehand, other vehicles up and down the street, nothing to do with this case. They did show that video is very clear. There are other still images from videos that they did put out there that are really clear, but they do have that video. Hunter? Who was Hunter? Hunter Johnson. EA. So who is Teeny Biggs. Who is Hunter Johnson in all of this? Is he just a friend of one of the roommates? And Emily, Hunter's girlfriend. So who's Hunter? Hunter Johnson. Who is he to the roommates? So, in the case at bar, most of the declarations made were present sense impressions. HJ located the unresponsive body of Xana Kernoodle and informed Bethany and Dylan to call 911. EA was present at the time. So if Hunter located Xana's body, did he not see all the blood? Because when we hear the 911 call, this is going to be important. The best friend of Ethan. Okay, so Jeff says he thinks it's the best friend of Ethan. Okay, that would make sense. But what I don't get is he's saying that he located the unresponsive body of Xana. But didn't you see all the blood? Because this is going to be becoming important in the 911 call. And we're going to see that. We're going to see exactly what was said in that 911 call. Yeah, I've seen that too. We'll try and look at those pictures, Jeff, at the end. And we can go over it, and then I'll get your comments on it then, because that's a really important comment, what you just made. So I'm going to try my best to get to those photos. Okay, so Hunter, let me just write this down. So HJ is Hunter Johnson, right? We think. And EA is Hunter's girlfriend, Emily, we think. Okay, so Luby Lou says Hunter and Emily were always at the house. Okay, so all declarants personally perceived the event, Cornelius being unresponsive. Well, what I'm wondering is, how did they not see all the blood? Okay, so let's get through this. The 1330 Linda Lane camera is Real Link RCA. Okay, according to the email exchange I had with its owner. Okay. It's a Real Link RLC 2822A. The 1330 Linda Lane. Yeah, I'm talking about the 1112 King Road camera, that little one in the socket. Okay, we're getting off topic. Okay, so let's get back to this. So, what I'm understanding is both Emily and Hunter seen Zana on the floor. Did you not see all the blood? But anyway, let's continue. The majority of the declarations were describing to dispatcher Carolina Kelvin what they were perceiving, present sense impressions. Those statements relate to Kernodle being passed out and not waking up. How can they say she was just passed out and not waking up? If they seen her, then they had to have seen all this blood. The declarations were made immediately after H.J., so Hunter, discovered Kernoodle's body. So he discovered her body. How did they not see all the blood and just say, oh, she's passed out? What's all the blood? Right? Like, I'm confused. I don't know about that, Jeff, because in the probable cause affidavit, they say that when the officers went into the residence and up to the second floor, as they were walking down the hall, they seen her body laying there. So the door had to have been open. Because they say they see her laying in the doorway. Right? I'm going to just leave this open so I don't have to keep clicking it when I need a sip of it. Anyway, let's continue. Some declarations made would also be considered excited utterances. Those statements include, oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. As well as the heaving, breathing, and crying that can be heard throughout the call. The declarants were responding to a startling occasion discovery of an unresponsive roommate. I just don't get it, how they didn't see all the red stuff. I shouldn't say the B word, the red stuff. The statement regarding a person being in the home is in direct response to why Kernoodle might be passed out. Okay. So they did have information, probably from Dylan or Bethany, that they had seen a man in the house the night before. So the statement regarding a person being in the home is in direct response to why Kernoodle might be passed out. All statements are made while the declarants are processing what is happening and were made before an opportunity to reflect and fabricate. Yeah, because the 911 call, the defense is trying to say that these people fabricated this to suit the purpose, right? But we're going to see in the 911 call, before they made any statements to police or anything, that these statements were already made prior. Yeah, she was in the doorway, so maybe they couldn't fully open the door, but I know they had said in the probable cause as they were walking doors, so maybe the door was just ajar, and there was a ladder up to the roof by Zana's window. The ladder was always down on the ground in body cam videos. That's interesting. I remember the ladder being there, But I don't recall anybody saying that they used that ladder to get up there. But it's quite possible, right? We don't know. We're only getting, like, now that things are being unsealed, we're only getting bits and pieces, right? Okay, so clear that the statements of Bethany Funk, Dylan Mortensen, Emily, and Hunter, and the dispatcher, Carolina Calvin, fall within the hearsay rules exceptions. Judge John Judge has already ruled that the 911 call is not hearsay, not offered for the truth of the matter asserted, and even if deemed hearsay, the exceptions for present sense impressions and excited utterance apply. On August 23rd, 2023, defendant moved to dismiss the grand jury indictment. One basis for that motion was the 911 call was improperly admitted. Someone has to use red stuff, please, when we are mentioning the red stuff that's in your body. The red stuff was one of my issues from the start. No one screaming, seeing it. Rumors it was drug OD, no mention in the 911 call. Well, we're going to have to see. Okay, so let's continue. One basis for that motion was the 911 call was improperly admitted, hearsay, cumulative, irrelevant, and improper attempt to bolster witness testimony. In response, Judge John Judge held as follows. If they used the ladder to see into the room, that would possibly imply that Zena's room wasn't entered by anyone, implying no decontamination of that crime scene. That would be interesting. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, everybody here. Everybody that's coming in. Please smash that like button on your way in, you guys. It really helps. It's free to do. I would appreciate it. And it tells me that you guys want me to continue showing you this stuff as it comes out. I try my best. Like I said, I've been sick over this last almost 2 weeks now, but I am getting better, so that's why I'm bringing this. So please pop out a chat, hit that like button, come on back in. When you come back in, make sure you have live chat selected at the top of your chat screen so you don't miss anything. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I see you guys hitting that like button. Thank you so much. I appreciate yous. Much love. Much love. Okay, let's get back to this. So what Judge John Judge, this is one of the reasons, you guys, I'm glad he's off the case. This was like a tongue twister. Judge John Judge. Okay. Held as follow. Further, even if the 911 call is hearsay, the exceptions for present tense, impression, and excited utterance apply as the statements made by the callers, the surviving roommates, Hunter, and another friend who had arrived, were made immediately after Hunter discovered Miss Kernoodle's body and instructed the roommates to call 911. Okay. Sealed order denying motion to dismiss the indictment on grounds of biased grand jury inadmissible evidence, lack of sufficient evidence, and prosecutor misconduct were filed. So that motion was denied. Regarding the emotion in the callers' voices and whatnot. Okay. So statements made on the 911 call are admissible regardless of whether or not witnesses testify. I'm just going to scroll through this. If you guys want to read all of it, we will stop at certain points, but this is just repetitive at this point. I want to get to what was said in the 911 call. So we'll do the highlights here. Statements of the 911 call are admissible regardless of whether or not the witness testifies. Conclusion. Based on above cited authority, the state respectfully prays for the court's approval in limine of the admission of the recordings and transcripts of the 911 call. So let's get to it. Grand jury transcript, it's still sealed. Audio file on thumb drive delivered separately, sealed. Here's the transcript. Okay. So it's telling you here, it's showing you Q is dispatch, Q1 is a man, Q2 is a woman 1, Q3 is a man. I think the Q1, Q3, Q4, Q5, Some of these are police and ambulance and fire that are responding. Q2 is another woman. This could be maybe ambulance. I don't know. A is a woman, A1 is a different woman, and A2 is a man. So I believe that this is probably Bethany, Emily, and Hunter. Okay. 911, location of your emergency. Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what. We have. What is the address of the emergency? 1122. No, don't. Question, what is the rest of the address? Oh, Kings Road. Okay. And is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure I have it right? Somebody talking from the house. I'll talk to you guys. We live at the right. We're next to them. I need someone to report the address for verification. The address? 1122 King Road. And what's the phone number you're calling from? What's your phone number? So a female is asking another female, which I think is Emily asking Bethany, what's your phone number? Or Dylan, one of the two, right? What's the rest? Okay, and then the 911 operator. Okay, and tell me exactly what's going on. One of the roommates who's passed out and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. No. And then another female says, no, we saw. And the 911 operator says, okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi. Question. And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone. Stop passing it around. Answer. Can I just tell you what happened pretty much? Question. What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now? Answer. I really don't know, but pretty much at 4 a.m., we'll leave at that. Jeff is saying that could that we have that got cut off be we have put up a ladder and looked through the window of our friend's room. I don't see them asking to try and CPR or put hands on the victims. It comes. Hang on, Jeff. That very well could be, Jeff. Okay, so they say, what's going on currently? Is someone passed out right now? Answer, I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m., the 911 operator says, okay, I need to know what's going on right now. If someone is passed out, can you find that out? Answer, yeah, I'll come. Come on. We got to go check. But we have to. Is she passed out? She's passed out. What's wrong? 2 seconds, you guys. Sorry about that. I had a hack. Okay. Yeah, I'll come. Okay. Dispatching Moscow Law Ambulance for. She's not waking up. So obviously somebody got in at that point, or somebody is either trying to push the door open. Somebody's trying to do something, right? Question, unconscious. So this is the dispatcher here and here, calling out for ambulance, fire, maybe even police. 70 is en route. That's sending out help. And then the 911. Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way. One of the roommates or somebody. Okay, maybe. Question, 1122 King Road. All ambulance respond for unconsciousness. 1122 King Road. Q2 says, I copy. So this is like ambulance or fire or somebody responding this Q2. Q. Multiple RPs on the phone advise saying the roommate on scene is passed out and not waking up. Believes she got drunk last night and something about a male being in the room with them. Being around. Cute. So this here is just like the ambulance and 911 operator talking. And then one of the roommates or somebody says, yeah, it's Evan. I think they said, yeah, it's Ethan. So are they saying at this point that it's Ethan behind the door blocking the door? I don't know. I'm not sure what we got to say. Jeff, we got to say red stuff. That's okay. So A2 says, yeah, I think this should be Ethan and not Evan. Okay. How old is she? She's 20. 20, you said? Yes, 20. Here, do you want to talk to them? Okay. Hello? So they're still passing this phone around, right? The 911. Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people. A2. Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone. Question, is she breathing? Hello? Is she breathing? No. Okay. Q1 says en route, so there's an ambulance, cops, we don't know. There's one of them en route. Okay, so A2 is either Bethany or Dylan. I need you to talking to them, okay? I can't talk to them. I need you to talk to them. Answer. Okay, hello? 911. Okay, I've already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. Okay. If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Units responding, RPs advising. Somebody says something, they can't figure out what it is. The patient is not conscious, not breathing. And then they say something else here. They don't know what it is. And then the 911. Okay, if there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Somebody at that house says, we don't have one. Q1 says, unconscious, not breathing. Do you have a defibrillator? Q3 says, yes. So somebody at that residence, either Hunter or Emily or Dylan or Bethany, says, do you have a defibrillator? The Q3, which is somebody from responding, ambulance, fire, cops, whatever, says, yep. A, yes, we have one. Q, but are you talking to the officer? The person at the residence? Yes. Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you. Okay, thank you, bye. They hang up. Moscow 46 out. So somebody here, ambulance, fire, cop, somebody else is out. 911 says copy. Q4 says, I think we have a homicide. Moscow engine 20 is en route. 1370, that's a homicide. 107, I relayed it. Okay, so there's the transcript of the 911. So let's see now. Okay, so Jean says, they say 4 different people were talking to 911. Yes, which is Hunter, Emily, Dylan, and Bethany. It's too bad the 911 callers didn't describe what they saw better. Yeah. But you could be onto something there, Jeff, with that ladder, right? Because if they couldn't get in the door because there was bodies behind the door stopping it from opening, I don't know. Did they try and look in the window? But the blinds were closed, right? So I don't know. It's hard to say. I think a lot of that, and I think that's probably why there wasn't a lot of red stuff tracked throughout the home, because if it happened right at the door, and they're on the other side of that door, and he's just, as they're coming at him at the door, and then he just closes the door. You know what I mean? It's odd. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. Imagine the confusion, yeah. But wait till we get to the messages, the text messages, you guys. It's interesting. Yes, please tap that like. Yeah, and they're all kids. Yes. Just says, interesting that the cop could conclude they were gone from this world. Maybe the friends just didn't want to admit to themselves what it looked like. Stay-at-home mom detective, good morning. Okay, so let's get on to the next one. Okay, so this is the text messages. And then the last one we're going to go over, you guys, is this one, which gives a lot of the information of what the prosecution's going to use, their evidence. Okay. Comes now the state of Idaho by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney and respectfully moves the court for an order in limine allowing the state to admit the text messages of Dylan on November 13, 2022, and the testimony from Dylan and Bethany regarding their conversations with each other on November 13, 2022. The phone records were discovered on the hard drive, Dylan's iPhone extraction, provided on April 5th, 2023, in States Exhibit 18 from the grand jury record, States Exhibit S1, attached. The testimony of Dylan and Bethany was provided to the defense as part of a grand jury record, States Exhibit S2 and States Exhibit S3, attached. Well, that's because one of the friends had already gone in. Or the roommates had came out, one of the two. I know it was explained. Okay. So they're going over the standard of admissibility, what hearsay is. So like I said, if you want to go through all these things that the prosecution is citing, you can go back and read it. I want to get to the messages. But where anything regarding them is, we're going to stop and read it. Like here, argument. Dylan's phone records contained in Exhibit S1 for November 13, 2022, and Bethany's testimony contained in Exhibit S2 as to what Dylan told her should be allowed at trial. So now we know what is S1 and what is, I guess I thought this would go over the whole thing, but no. Okay. Phone records. So Exhibit S1, we now know that it is Dylan's phone records. S2 is Bethany's testimony. Those were redacted and sealed for a long time, okay? In the case at bar, starting on November 13th at 2:10, DM sends a message to EG. Who is EG now? Who's EG? Anybody know? Oh, Uber driver. Okay. To inquire if he's driving. What time? Because this Uber driver, there was an Uber driver that picked up Maddie and Kaylee at the grub truck and drove them home. But it seemed to be that this was somebody that they had either used often or knew personally. So this is interesting because this is at 2:10. And I think that Kaylee and Maddie got in the Uber like just before 2. Anyway, to inquire if he is driving, the state submits this text message exchange is not hearsay because it will not be offered for the truth of the matter asserted. Example, EG's driving status. Instead, it would be offered to show a timeline for the night. Example, DM was awake and texting at 2:10. And then from 4:19 to 4:21, DM attempts to call Bethany, Xana, Kaylee, and Madison. All those calls went unanswered. Yeah. Can you imagine, Jean? That's ugh. Eesh. Okay. So the record Records of these calls are not hearsay as they each do not meet the definition of a statement, oral assertion, written assertion, or nonverbal contact intended as an assertion. Okay, so here we go. So we know that the state has said that they have evidence that Bryan Kohberger took off from the scene at 4:21, I think it was. Hang on, I got a cough. Sorry about that, you guys. So I think it was said 4:21 a.m. is when they see the white car exiting the area at a high rate of speed. Okay. So from 4:22 to 4:24, Dylan and Bethany send the following text messages. Dylan to Bethany, no one is answering. Dylan to Bethany, I'm really confused right now. Dylan to Kaylee, Kaylee. Dylan to Kaylee again. What's going on? Bethany to Dylan. Yeah, dude, what the F, right? Bethany to Dylan. Zena was wearing all black. What? Like this right here, you guys? Was she thinking that she seen Zena wearing all black? When in fact it was the person that Dylan seen with the bushy eyebrows? Dylan says to Bethany, I'm freaking out right now. Dylan says to Bethany, no, it's like ski mask almost. Bethany, STFU, shut the F up. Bethany, actually, Dylan, like he had something over his head and a little around his mouth. Dylan to Bethany, Bethany, I'm not kidding. I'm so freaked out. Bethany, so am I. Dylan to Bethany, my phone is going to die. F. Sorry, you guys, for the cough. Bethany says, come to my room. Run. Run down here. What do you guys get from that? Okay, I'm going to put this Halls in my mouth. Because once I start talking a lot, you guys, this starts happening. Okay. So it seems like once Dylan sees him, like look at the time, 4:22, this starts. We know, as we're going to see, that I guess 4:19 to 4:21. So it looks like when Bryan Kohberger is like, after she sees him, he's getting out of the house because we know at 4:21 he's hightailing it, right? She starts, once she sees him leaving, she didn't just go and lay down and go back to sleep. She started trying to call Xana, Kaylee, Madison, and nobody answered. The only one she could get a hold of was Bethany. Right? Well, don't forget, Teeny, it was dark in there. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm not saying that's what happened. I was just thinking out loud, I guess. That could very well be too. That she's trying to figure out what Dylan is trying to say to her. Because after that, when she says Xana was wearing all black, it's almost like a question. And Dylan says, no, I'm freaking out right now. No, it's like a ski mask almost. So I think she was trying to describe to Bethany what this guy looked like. But she had said, look, I tried to call Kaylee Madison at Xana. No one's answering. I'm really confused. Kaylee. Then she sends a message to Kaylee. And then another one, what's going on? And then Bethany says, yeah, dude, what the F? Xana was wearing all black. So I think Yes, I think you're right here, Jeff. I think maybe Bethany was, trying to understand what Dylan was trying to say and thought she was talking about Zena, but she wasn't. Because down here, it's like, no, it's like a ski mask almost. Like he had something over his head for a little and mouth. I'm not kidding. I'm freaked out. So that makes sense, what you just said there. No problem, Jean. Okay, so let's continue. So all of the above declarations are present sense and impression and excited utterances. This supported by DM's grand jury testimony where she indicates she just witnessed a startling event. The declarations indicate both Bethany and Dylan are trying to make sense of the startling event. Immediately following the startling event, no time for reflection. Grand jury testimony. Okay, here. At 4:24, Dylan calls Ethan. The call was unanswered. This phone record, like the other records of calls, is not a statement pursuant to IRE 80. Bethany continue to text at 4:24. Dylan texts Bethany, "I'm screwed though." And Bethany responds at 4:26, "Yeah, I know, but it's better than being alone." So I think that's why Bethany was telling her, just come downstairs, come and stay with me tonight. Again, both statements are admissible as present sense impressions and excited utterances as they are describing an event or their state of mind and are spontaneous reactions to that event rather than the result of a reflective thought. So this proves that whatever was said on the 911 call was not fabricated, because we've got real time here starting at 4 in the morning when this happened of what was going on inside that house with the two surviving roommates, right? Okay. Again, okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, at 4:27, Dylan calls Kaylee. It went unanswered. At 4:28, Dylan calls Kernoodle. Unanswered. These are not statements pursuant to IRE 801. They're going to be right off their phone, right? At 4:32, DM sends a text message to Kaylee stating, "Please answer." Okay, so this is at 4:32, 10 minutes after this guy goes past her and out the back door. So she sends a message to Kaylee stating, "Please answer. This statement is present sense impression. Dylan's perception of events and an excited utterance, spontaneous reaction to that event rather than the result of a reflective thought." So the defense is trying to say that this was all fabricated. This was all made up. This is why they took 8 hours to call the police. It was all made up. They were getting the stories together. This proves different. The next morning, Dylan sends the following. So they have not told us what happened after this, and I'm sure there's tons more that happen between here and here. Okay. So the next morning, Dylan sends the following text messages starting at 10:23. Dylan to Kaylee, "Please answer." Dylan to Madison, "Are you up?" Dylan to Kaylee, "Are you up?" These messages are not hearsay because they will not be introduced for the truth of the matter asserted. Even if deemed hearsay, they are allowable as present sense impressions as they reflect a consistency and continuation of Dylan's text messages from the night prior and reflect her then perception of what was then occurring, waking up and realizing she had not heard from her roommates. At 11:39, Dylan has a text exchange with her father, BM. These statements are not hearsay. Okay, so at 11:50, Dylan receives a text message from Jay, whoever Jay is, stating, "Bro." This text message will not be introduced for the truth of the matter asserted. At 11:50, Dylan calls EA. So EA, is that Emily? This phone record is not a statement pursuant to IRE 801A. Dylan receives a text message from Jay at 11:51 and a vandal alert at 1:04. These texts are not hearsay because they will not be introduced for the truth of the matter. Okay, Dylan and Bethany testimony contained in State's Exhibit S2 and State's Exhibit S3. The state anticipates that both Dylan and Bethany will testify at trial. So they're both gonna testify, you guys. The state intends to ask each witnesses about the statements made to them on November 13th, 2022. This testimony should substantially replicate the testimony they provided at the grand jury proceedings. The state submits the statements from both Dylan and Bethany to each other are allowable hearsay because they are present sense impressions and or excited utterances. Previous adjudication. Judge John Judge had previously ruled that the text message statements of Dylan to Bethany are present tense impressions and excited utterances, holding both the text messages and the testimony of Bethany and Dylan as to what Dylan told her were admissible. Okay, Dylan's phone records contained. Okay, so they're just going through legalities here, saying again that Dylan and Bethany are both going to testify at trial. Yes, exactly. I'm right there with you. Jeff had brought that up earlier. I do believe that Dylan corrected her because maybe Bethany had it. What do you mean? Zaina was in black and she's correcting. So I do think that is the case. Exactly. Jess says maybe in his criminology studies he learned there are certain fabrics that would be better to prevent your hair from falling out when crafted in some kind of head covering. Yeah. From what I heard, it's one of those ski masks that just show your eyes and your mouth, maybe. And so maybe he had it pulled all the way to cover from his nose down and just had his eyes open. You know those ski masks that just have like holes for the eyes and the mouth? That's what I think he had on. I don't think it's like what we thought, like one of those masks that we all had to use for that thing that was going around that we can't say. It starts with a C. Okay. So, based on the above cited authority, the state respectfully requests the court's approval in the limited admission of the text messages from Dylan on November 13th and the testimony from Bethany regarding what DM told her on November 13th. This is all sealed. Okay, so that's the end of that one. So, let me get rid of these. Oops, I don't want to do that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this because we've gone over it already. This is the one that I'm going to have to bring up maps. Right? What the defense is trying to say is that the reason they didn't call law enforcement for 8 hours is because they were fabricating something and trying to get a story straight between everybody. So this clearly shows that Dylan was telling Bethany as things were happening, and as soon as the perpetrator left, when she seen him going out the back door, she didn't just go to bed and go to sleep and pass out like everybody is claiming and attacking her as doing. She was, I'm freaking out, like I'm scared. I've locked my door. I'm in my room. Like this guy just walked out the back door. And Bethany's like, what the F? And she's trying to explain to Bethany everything that just happened, right? It's bad, you guys. Okay, so how am I going to do this now? Because I want to bring up maps. Um, Let me see. Google Earth. Let me just get this open, you guys. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. Now, if I bring this up, can I make it smaller? Oh, yikes. Okay, I know it's going to be smaller for you guys, but I'm trying to do a side by side here. Okay. Hopefully this works. Let me stop sharing this way. Here we go. Ba-ba-da. Oh, shit. Okay, hang on. I gotta make this a little bit smaller. Why did that happen? Hang on. I'm not good at this stuff, you guys. Can you tell? Okay. I think we can do this where you guys can see both. Instead of me having to jump back and forth between documents, I figured I'd put them all on one screen. Okay. Let's get over here. Okay, we got the map up. Let's get through this. Now, this is the prosecution and a lot of the evidence stuff that they have regarding cameras, other things, and this is what they have filed. Okay. Can I make this a little bit bigger? Oh, that's too big. Can't see it. Okay, I think we're gonna have to stick to this size. Okay, can you guys see the map and the document? I'm waiting to see what you guys say. Jean says, this reminds me of how a balaclava was found with Suzanne's remains in the shallow grave. Yeah, I remember that with the Suzanne Morphew case. So can you guys see both? Let me know that you can see the document and the map. Okay, thank you, Teeny. Thank you, Teeny. You're a doll. Thank you. Okay, so let's go. Let's get into this. So, comes now the state of Idaho, by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney, respectfully moves for orders in limine allowing the admission of certain evidence in accordance with the Idaho Rule of Evidence 803, 6, 8, and 24, Idaho Rules of Evidence Rule 803, exceptions to the rule against hearsay, regardless of whether the declarant is available as a witness. IRE states the following. We're going to go through this. You guys can read through this if you want. I want to get to the list. Here we go. Here's where it starts. Okay? So at trial, the state intends to introduce the following. Let me just get this again. Intends to introduce the following certified statements and or records. 1320 Linda Lane surveillance footage. So, let's get over here. Let's see if we've got this marked. Oh, this is going to be hard. Oh, we got to go over here. That's why I'm in the wrong. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we've got this one. Okay. So, the 1320 Linda Lane surveillance. Let's see where 1320 Linda Lane. Okay, let's put a dot there. And I've been using green for the cameras, you guys. Okay, so there's 1320. So they have camera footage. This looks like an individual house. So they have a video from here and here. So let's click on this and edit. And let's go 1320. Just to make sure we've got all these cameras. So now we know that there was two cameras. This here is the camera that got him going around the apartments, because here's the house over here, right? This is where he comes down, passes by 112 King Road, and comes around these apartments and back. He does that several times. We know we got that camera, and now we also know we got this camera, and I believe that's the one that catches him going by on Taylor Avenue here. Okay, so we got both these. Let's just highlight it so we know we got it. Okay. Albertsons Clarkson WA. Video surveillance and business records for November 13th. Albertsons, Clarkston, Washington. So where is that? Where is Clarkson? Let's go Albertson. Clarkston, WA. Okay, so we got that. So we got, we're going to put a dot. We're going to mark it green. And we're going to put Albertson camera. Good enough. Okay, so we got one there at Albertsons. Amazon financial and user records for Bryan Kohberger. AT&T phone records for Bryan Kohberger, Madison Mogan, and Zaina. Now, I don't know if this is just because Bryan, Madison, and Zaina had AT&T and the other roommates had a different carrier. So that's the AT&T records for Bryan Kohberger. We got the Amazon financial and user records for Bryan Kohberger. Bagel shop video, surveillance video. Where's the bagel shop? Do you guys know where the bagel shop is? What bagel shop are they talking about? Anybody know what bagel shop they're talking about? I think that it's up here. There it is right here. So we know they got... So there's the bagel shop camera they got. That's probably going to be showing the video of when they were... Remember when Kaylee and Maddie were walking down the street with somebody and they say, Maddie, what did you tell Adam? I told him everything. Remember that video? Okay, so then we have Bank of America records for Bethany and Zaina. Banner Bank records for Ethan Chapin. Cafe Astria video surveillance for November 13th. Where is that? Let's see. Cafe Artistia. Where is it? Oh, right there. Okay. So here's the cafe. Okay, so we're just putting dots, you guys. So here's the cafe. Here's the bagel shop. Here's the Mad Greek where Maddie and Zaina worked. Here's the grub truck over here. And up here is the Corner Club, the bar that they were at that night. And I know that they also have video and pics. Whoops. I know this for a fact because I've seen them. Okay. Corner Club video surveillance. Oh, we just marked that. So they are going to be using that. That is right here. So that's where Maddie and Kaylee were drinking that night. They leave, they come down, they go to the grub truck. We know that from the grub truck, they took, I want to mark this. Move that over here. Oh my gosh, we'll get it together today. Because we know there's video there too. They left the bar, they walked down the street, and they went to the grub truck. From there, they took that ride home, right? So let's get back to this here. Corner Club financial transaction receipts for sales. So that's going to be whatever Maddie and Kaylee bought that night at the corner club. Jeff says, seems to me Anne is uber focused on what year the Elantra is. Law enforcement just followed the path of this creepy late night driver. Yeah. Okay. Costco surveillance video. So let's go back to the maps here. And we want Costco. Costco in Clarkston. Okay, where is it? Show us. Show us. Okay, there it is. And we're going to put a dot, and we're going to put Costco. This is going to be interesting later, you guys, because we're going to have all this where they're getting their video and that from. So we've marked the Costco, and this is where they said Bryan Kohberger had gone on November 13th after the Red Drums, right? Okay, DeSales student records regarding Bryan Kohberger. Dick's Sporting Goods. Where's Dick's Sporting Goods? Whoops. Dick's Sporting Goods. WA? Okay, there's one in Washington. Is that even Washington? It is. Okay, well, there's a Dick's Sporting Goods. I don't know if this is the one they are referring to. I guess we'll find out in in trial. So we're going to make this yellow because we don't know, right? We'll make it extra large so we can see it way over there. Because that's quite the ways. You know what I mean? But it seemed to be Washington. Yeah, that seems to be the one. We don't know. But we will find out. Okay. DoorDash records for Zaina Kernoodle and Ethan Chapin. Discover financial records for Kaylee. Early warning records. I don't know what that is. Is that the warning that went out when police showed up and then they called the university and said, look, this is what we got going on? Is this an early warning that was sent out from the university? We don't know. We got Elon financial records for Kaylee. It seems she had several bank accounts. ENS services, 13 Johnson Avenue Pullman surveillance video. Okay, so let's find that. E and S services. 1300 Johnson. Pullman. Ooh. See, I had it here at 525, but I didn't know where they got the camera from. So now we know that it's right here. This is E&S services video. Okay, so this is where they got him returning, right? After his journey here, when he leaves and he comes all the way down here. Now, we don't know if he went across this way, if he came across this way. They seem to think he went all the way down here and then back up. But they do have him on camera at 5:25 a.m. heading back towards his apartment. So I was wondering, because I looked for cameras on this house here, this one, and this, and I didn't really see any. But now they're saying this is where it is 1300. So right from here on Johnson Road. Okay, let's go back here. Farmers insurance surveillance. Okay, where's farmers insurance? And there's only one address. Okay, so there was this one. And there's this one. And they're both saying the same thing. Farmers insurance. Huh. Well, I'm going to mark it. They have this for a reason. I don't know if they are still maybe at this address. Maybe they just moved there. But we're going to mark it because it's on the on this list, so we're going to mark it. Sorry about that, you guys. I sneezed up a storm, coughed, you name it. So you didn't need to hear that. Okay. So Jean says, I had to go to my big screen TV to see more clearly. Wow, this map helps a lot. I've done a lot of mapping on this. Like, I've got split screen for you guys right now, just so we don't have to keep bouncing back and forth. But I do have full screen when I've, with you guys' help, gone over and added things just like we're doing right now to the video, to the mapping. But now that we've got, and there's 3 pages of evidence, you guys. So we may be here for a bit. So I hope you're enjoying this. If you are, please make sure you hit that like button. Thank you. Thank you. I can see you guys going out there smashing that like. Please go out and smash it. When you come back in, make sure you got live chat selected at the top so you don't miss anything. So thank you to those who have smashed that like button. Okay. So where were we? We got that one. Okay. So let's go back here. Floyd's Cannabis Company surveillance video. So let's go back here. I think I've got this one already, but let's make sure. Floyd's Cannabis. Okay, here we go. Yep. See, I've already got it, but let's edit this now. Let's edit it. See, I got Elantra caught on video. Now we know which video this is. We know that this is Floyd's Cannabis video. And we know that we are putting, we'll just put it large, Because now we know here is Floyd's cannabis. So this is where they've got him. Here's the cell tower, you guys. And this is the last cell tower he pinged off of, right? Before turning off the phone or going into airplane mode. And this is on his way in. Because here is the state line of Washington and Idaho. You see where it says Idaho here? So this side is Washington, this side is Idaho of this line. Okay, so now we know Floyd's cannabis. Here's the cell tower. Why is that cell tower? Because this should be brown. Let me just fix this, you guys. Because I do believe I put the cell towers as brown. Because I got another one over here. Hang on. Yeah, see? We got another cell tower here. Let me just make that the same color. I've got it brown already, but I want the darker brown. Okay. Excuse me, you guys. We also got one up here. Might as well do this one too while we're here. But I don't think that this one is going to be utilized except for when they're up in this area, like maybe up by the grub truck and stuff. This is where they may have... Oh, that's why I had that one light, because it blends in too much with the background. Okay, so let's leave that one. Maybe could even go white. Okay. Okay, I will remember. You guys know I'm not going to remember that. But I'm going to try and remember that I made this one white. You know how that goes. You guys know my memory. Okay, let's continue. For his DAX, financial records for Bryan Kohberger. That's crypto.com. Grub truck video surveillance. We've already got that marked. Oop. Right here. This is the grub truck. Don't forget. We'll go up here a little bit. This is the corner club where Kaylee and Maddie were partying, and they came down somehow down here to the grub truck. Harbor Freight business and surveillance records. What's that? Who's that for? What's Harbor Freight? Harbor Freight. Let's see what that is. Harbor Freight. Tools? What is that, you guys? A grocery outlet? Okay. We're going to mark it as just Harbor Freight. Harbor. HARBOR. I don't know. We don't know. So we do, when we don't know, we do yellow. But they got the business records from here for a reason. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear that wind outside my window here. It is crazy. Hang on. Give me 2 seconds, you guys. All right. There was a dog on my front porch. I don't own a dog. But anyway, okay. So, business and surveillance. Oh, let's go back. Edit. Surveillance. That's interesting. Okay. Let's go back here. Idaho Credit Union, bank records for Madison Mogan. Indian Mountain Lake surveillance and records. Okay, Indian Mountain Lake. Let's go back here. I hope you guys are enjoying this. A mini fleet farm store. Okay, thank you, Pixie. Pixie says Harbor Freight is like a mini fleet farm store. Okay, so what did he go there for? I wonder, right? Okay, so Indian Mountain, this is what we're searching now. Let's see if we've already, there's so much on this map, you guys. I don't know if I've already got it. Indian Mountain Lake. Oh, this is we're gonna mark this. This is in Pennsylvania, you guys. We don't know what this is all about yet, but it's going to come into play in the trial. So we're going to mark it because this is Brian's parents' place here. And this is where the lake is. So that's going to come into play for some reason in the trial because it's here. Okay. Let's try and get back to look at this, you guys. It's just saturated. Okay, let's get back to this area. Okay. Over here. Joan Fabrics financial records. I don't know why they would want that. Did one of the roommates work at Joan Fabrics? Well, let's go see where it is. Joan. Come on. Huh. Ah. It's right here. Okay. Let's mark it. We don't know why it's there yet. Should I put the financial, I guess? Okay, we don't know what this is about yet unless one of the girls worked there, or is this, I think that they would say it was video surveillance if they got video surveillance from here, but this is coming into play for some reason. We may not find out until the trial. Okay. Latah County Sheriff's Office citation issued on August 21st. So they're going to be using that. And they're also going to be using the deputy that stopped him, the body camera. Marshall's financial records for Bryan Kohberger. Marshall's? Isn't that like a... Marshalls. Department store. There's Marshalls. And they're looking for Bryan financial records. I don't know why, but it's going to come in. We don't know why. Did he work there? There's something. He had to have gone and purchased something there. Or somebody went and purchased something there. The National Weather Service records for November 12th and 13th. We've gone through those. Carol says, oh my God, Willow, Harbor Freight sells sharp, sticking type implements and men's coveralls, including disposable ones. That's interesting. Right? Well, thank you, Jeff. I try. Okay, so then we've already gone over the weather for the day, and it showed that it was ice fog. So you couldn't see no stars. It was overcast, it was foggy, it was raining, there was ice fog, they call it. Okay. Numerica bank records for Kaylee. See, here's the third one. This is the third one I see for Kaylee. PayPal, Venmo financial records. We don't know who they're for. PNC bank records for Bryan Kohberger. Pentel Day data records. Pennsylvania State Employees Credit Union. That would be for Bryan Kohberger. Petco financial records for Kaylee. I don't know why they would want that. Rite Aid financial records. Ross financial records. They're not saying who some of these are for. Sunset Mart. Surveillance video. Let's see. Let's get rid of this. Okay. South. Whoops. I'm kind of sitting on an angle with I should have my keyboard in front of me, you guys. So, South Main Street. Sunset Mart. Let's go. One 1311. Where is it? Where are they showing me? Oh, right here. Okay, so this is the A&W camera. So when they talk about, let's edit this one, and we're going to put the address because they're going to say Sunset Mart 1311 South Main. I'm going to put that all in there. So that's a camera. Now we know. That's a camera. Okay, so they got a camera there. Oh, look at this. Okay. Then we got another one. I'm loving your coverage. Thank you so much, Willie. You're the best. Aww. Thank you. GP, speaking of dog, wasn't dog hair listed? Animal hair. They didn't say dog hair. They said an animal hair. I'm so waiting to see if they match that to Murphy. Right? Like I said, we don't have everything yet, you guys. But like I said, remember when I said when we were going through the record, I said they got so much more. They don't just have that one video surveillance. They're going to have tons. Look at, are we on the first page still of this? There's tons that they have. Okay, so let's go back here because now we want a different one. We want 1455 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman. Oh, boom. Look at that right here. This is another Sunset Mart. And this is 1455 Southeast Bishop Boulevard. So we know they got him on camera here too. Let's add that. That's pretty close, you guys, to... Now, I'm anxious to know if this camera here, they have him going this way, or if this is only him coming back. I think it's him coming back because when he left, he went this way. Why he turned here, I don't know, but he did. Okay, next. Target Financial Records. TikTok user records for Zaina. TJX Financial Records for Dylan. T-Mobile records for Kaylee and Dylan. So we know the other ones had, what was it, AT&T? Where were they? AT&T. Brian, Madison, and Zaina had AT&T. And we know down here T-Mobile now was Kaylee and Dylan. Umpqua Bank records for Dylan. Come on now. Okay. For Dylan. Under Armour transaction records for Bryan Kohberger. Okay. UF Chef Store, Clarkston video surveillance. Let's go. You know we're going there. So we're looking for US Chef Store in Clarkson. I want to make sure I got the right one. Yep. Let's go. We're going down here. Here we go. Yes. See, I've already had that marked, but we didn't know what it was about. So now we do. Oh, yes, I do have it here, but we're going to mark it again, you guys. US Chef Store video. We're going to do it green because we know they got video there. Okay, so I do have it here marked already. Camera got car here at 12:36 p.m. on November 13th. And here's that, what is it, a little restaurant or something you can drive in and out at 12:36. They got his car driving by. So we'll get to it, you guys. Ultra Financial Records, we don't know whose. So Verizon phone records for Ethan, Bethany, and JD. Who's JD? Yes. Hello, Kate Bell. I'm just starting to feel better, Kate. I am getting your angel thing. I got to get it fitting for the frame and everything and get it sealed and whatnot before I put it in the frame. I'm getting it ready for you. I promise you, Kate. I am getting it ready. I got the frame and everything. I went and bought a frame, got the frame, and I'm going to get it ready for you, I promise. But yes, I am a lot better. So who's JD, you guys? We got Bethany Funk. Who's JD? Is that Jack? What's Jack's last name? Jack, anybody know? D4. I don't know if that's Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, Jack. No problem, Kate. I haven't even gone and checked my messages. I've just been so sick the last almost 2 weeks. It's like today is one of the days that I'm sitting here. It's only been 2 hours. It feels like a lot longer because the last few days I've been just laying in bed watching YouTube. Yeah, I know it's Jack. And hello, Peggy. Hello, Peggy. I just looked it up. Harbor Freight sells the white full body covering suits they say Bakey may have used in the crimes. He was wearing, Jean, he was wearing all dark clothing. So I don't think it's the white ones, although he may have had the white ones on underneath, right? Put the white ones on and then put the dickies on over top just to make sure nothing got through onto his body. So he just rips off the duckies and he's got the white stuff underneath. I don't know. Because I know the dickies, we use them a lot at the shop. And because I did own a tractor and trailer repair business also with my ex. And he used to get the dickies because the oil and that didn't, when he's working on transport trucks, the oil wouldn't penetrate through the dickies. So if oil won't penetrate through, I don't think the red stuff will either. So did he go and buy a white onesie that he could put on underneath the dickies? So then when he got outside, all he had to do was rip off all the dicky stuff. He still had the white stuff on underneath. Who knows? That's a good catch though. Thank you. Jack Decor. I don't know if that's Jack Decor, but I know it's a Jack, I think. I'm just guessing. I shouldn't say that. I don't know who it is. I'm guessing that it's Jack Decor. Okay. Walmart surveillance and financial transaction records for Bryan Kohberger. Where's that Walmart? Walmart. Moscow? Pullman Road, Moscow. Is there one in Pullman? There is. Okay, let's go see where the one is in Pullman. Okay, here's the Walmart in Pullman. And we know he went here. So could he have gone here? Walmart surveillance. Okay, so let's also look at the one. Where's the one in Moscow? Ah, come on. Where's this one? Oh, it's way... Wait a minute. I don't know which one it is. I'm not putting it on the map, you guys, because I don't know which one it is. Washington Department of Motor Vehicle surveillance video. Let's go see where that is. Where art thou? Is it here? Vessel licensing. So I'm believing it's here. So I'm going to put the DMV, DMV surveillance. that would make sense because he had to go in and change his plates, right? Okay, so then they got his documents also, Washington Department of Motor Vehicles registration documents for Bryan Kohberger. Pixie says, seeing all this, I think it's safe to say BK is cooked. Wow, thanks for doing this with us. I'm so glad I tuned in while I clean rather than read the document myself. You're very welcome, and thank you. Okay, Washington Trust bank records for Bryan Kohberger. Wells Fargo bank records for Madison Mogan. Winco financial records for Bryan Kohberger. Winco financial records and video surveillance for Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen. Kaylee Gung, what? Winso financial records and video surveillance for Bethany Funk, Dylan Mortensen, Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, and or Zana. So they must all. Is this something that maybe students would have? What's Winso financial records? I don't know. Okay, then we have the Washington State University surveillance. I think I've already got that marked. Let's go see. I know I've got it marked here somewhere already. But let's oops. Come on. Oh. Yeah, see it's right here. And I think I did have that marked, but we're going to mark it. I think it's the cameras from up here, but okay, just WSU video. Just so we know where it is when they start talking about it come court, right? But I do believe that it was some cameras here that caught him coming up and around here. That's how we knew he went up here. Oh yeah, see? Right here. That's how we knew. Okay. WSU parking records. So, this is just some. Yes, that's who I think it's Jack Decor because they wanted to find out what was sent from. Remember, Madison and Kaylee kept messaging him that night, but he didn't answer. You're very welcome. Yeah, they stated animal hair. They didn't state whether it was a dog, a cat, a hamster, a gerbil, a fish. I guess fish don't have, you know what I mean. An ape, we don't know. We know it was an animal hair. And that's why I was so anxious when I seen this. I wanted Petco. Oh no, Petco is Petco. Is that like where you can go and buy pet food and stuff? Because I was looking for Winso is a food store. Financial records and video surveillance for Bethany, Dylan, Kate. Okay. Okay. Oh, where's that? That's interesting now. Winso. Winso. Because let me just get this. Hang on. That's interesting because they have Winslow financial records for Bryan Kohberger. And then they've got Bethany, Dylan, Kaylee, Madison, and Zaina all going there. They also got Jones Fabrics financial records. Like, okay, let's make this yellow. We don't know. Oh, no, they got surveillance there. Okay. So we don't know why they got Jones Fabrics financial records, but they also got Winslow surveillance and financial records. I should put that in there. Slash finance. Should I put the finance? I'm just going to put finance, BK. Whoops. BK and roommates. I can only put so much there. So they're asking for financial records for Bryan Kohberger and all of the roommates at this Winslow. So are they trying to put together where they may have collided or come into contact with each other? I don't know. We don't know, but at least we have it on the map. So when this does go to court and they mention this, we know where it is, right? Okay, Peggy says, okay. So, okay, K. Mitch, you take care, hon. I hope you're feeling better too. Um, I was hoping, Peggy, that there was a vet or this could be in the DNA evidence stuff too that we don't see here on this here. Like I said, this isn't all of everything that they have. This is just some of it, you guys. And if you guys are thinking his goose is cooked right now with just this is just part of their evidence. Okay? Because let's go on and see if there's anything else here. Um, let's see if they talk. No, that's all that they've entered here. So this is just some of the evidence they have. There's nothing here about the DNA. There's nothing here about the fingernail stuff. There's nothing here. There's nothing here about the stuff that they confiscated from his apartment and car and workplace and parents and all. None of that is in here yet. This is just some of the stuff. A fraction. Right? So interesting enough that this is so interesting, you guys. This is just some of what they got. Like this, look at this. It's like a big. And we know that there's CCTV camera here, that I didn't see listed on that there. We know that there was one here and one here. This is the light socket. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to get to. Is he even still here? Is Jeff still here? Because I told him I would pull that up if we had time. Let me go fetch it, you guys. Okay. Let me go fetch this. I gotta find it. Um, I gotta make this bigger. I can't see a thing. I was just thinking about BK neighbor allegedly seeing him cleaning the inside of his car in the apartment parking lot. Okay, let me go and get. Hang on. I think it's on this one. Yeah, here it is here. Where's Jeff? Did Jeff take off? And I told him I would bring this up if I had time. And here it is, you guys. Let me make it bigger. There's the car. This is from that light bulb camera. And I mean, she took a blurry, because the other videos that I seen that these roommates here that lived in this place showed, it's really clear video at night. But I guess maybe when you're stopping it to try and get like a photo, it gets blurry. Maybe she didn't do this on purpose. Maybe she did. I don't know. Hello, my darling. How are you? So good to see you. I don't think. Hello, my love. How have you been doing? I hope you're doing good. Haven't seen you in so long. I think she grabbed the worst two videos that she could. Right? Because there's this one of him coming in, and this is of him leaving, 4:20 and 47 seconds. So this is him leaving, and this is him coming, 3:56, coming into the neighborhood, and he was doing those drive arounds. And then this is him leaving. See how much clearer some of this is? So I think it's maybe when she's tried to take a screen grab of the video as the video's playing, that's probably why these aren't as clear as maybe they should be. But this is Anne wanting to have this removed. I'm wondering if Jack had gone over and all the lights and everything had been on, if this would have even happened, right? Because you know Jack wouldn't have gone over by himself. He would have brought his buddies over with him. So I mean, could have, would have, should have, but didn't. You know what I mean? So these are the new photos that they're saying. You're very welcome. Yeah, everybody needs a break. I haven't really been on a lot in the last 2 weeks because I've been so sick. I didn't even do my mini reads on Sunday because I was just so sick. I couldn't. And it was like after the first few days, it felt like it was going away, and then it lied to me. It did. It lied to me, and I started feeling better for like one day, and then boom, it hit again. And the second time it hits, it's horrible. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I mean, I don't got a lot of enemies. I think I got one or two, but anyway, I know who my enemy here is, though. I know that. I figured out who that was. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's here, no there. Yeah, so these are the two new photos. Him leaving at 4:20, coming into the neighborhood again. This is his second last pass. He goes up and around. I showed you that on the maps. He goes up and he goes around. He goes past the residence. He goes up and around those apartment buildings, comes through the back, comes back out here again, does a lap around the neighborhood, and then he comes back. And that's when things happen, when shit hit the fan. And then this is speeding away. And believe me, they got the video of this, and the video is going to be a lot clearer than these pictures. It's going to be interesting, you guys. But I have seen other video from this camera that they had shown. I heard they were speaking about his autism playing into it, but I haven't gotten to look into that. Have you? Yes, viruses, cold. Yes. Apparently he's been diagnosed with ASD. But they're trying to use it in the sentencing phase, saying that because he's been diagnosed with this autism, that he shouldn't be sentenced to death, that his autism could have had something to do with it. They say that the autism that he had, he was antisocial. He didn't stop speaking when, like, he couldn't read the room or read people. Like when people were finally like fed up and wanted to walk away from him or end a conversation, stuff like that. But it's not going to fly. It's not going to fly. If that is true that he has autism, it has nothing to do with him committing this crime. You know what I mean? It's going to have to do, they're going to try and say, he has a mental disorder or mental capacity. He can't be sentenced to death. Please spare his life. They're going to try and use that to spare his life. I don't think that's going to happen either. I think the judge is going to leave it up to the jury to decide that. So I'm not really concerned about that. I mean, he's tried this fake alibi. You can tell that the defense is scared by what they are fighting the most. First, and what they're attacking. You know what I mean? They tried the alibi thing. It didn't work. Now it's okay. Now he's got, you know what I'm concerned about, you guys? I'm concerned that he's going to end up pleading guilty. And then we're never going to hear all the evidence against him. I think they're trying to do these motions to try and have all this excluded. And when push comes to shove, when they see that this is a case they're not going to win, I think they're going to offer a deal that he'll plead guilty, take the death penalty off the table. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, that's just my opinion. Take it or leave it. But I've at least memorialized it right here. March 7th. Just past noon. I think that he is going to end up pleading, making a plea deal. They've tried everything under the sun, including trying to bring back 1800s law to try and get things overturned, thrown out, whatever. It's not working. If they can't get some of these motions that they filed, if they're all denied, I do feel like he's going to try and do a plea. And when they find out that they can't use the autism thing, or it's not going to be, the judge is going to deny removing the death penalty because of autism, I think this is when it's going to be a huge turning point. And I do believe that they're going to try and make a deal. Yeah. The defense is panicking. They know their goose is cooked, right? Right? I don't like it either. Hon. And it's like, it's their last ditch. They're not why are they so concerned? You know what I mean? Getting this death penalty gone. Okay, you're saying that you haven't had time to go through all these records. They want this death penalty gone because I think by this point, they know his goose is cooked. So these last, and I mean, this is, don't start going, oh, Ann Taylor trying to do all the. This is what I expect to see at this point, just before trial. There's going to be tons of motions put in. She's going to try and get as much as she can excluded. If anything, I don't think it's going to work. Um, and I think the last thing is going to be if they can't use the autism as an excuse to have the death penalty removed. If the judge says we're going to leave it up to the jury, it's going to be brought up, but it's going to be left in the jury's hands if they use that as a mitigating factor, right? We're going to leave it in the jury's hands. That's what that's what I think the judge is going to say regarding that autism thing. But I do think that then he's going to try a plea. Look at plead guilty, take death penalty off the table. That's going to be his last thing he tries. If nothing else works, it's going to be, okay, let's try and make a plea and have the death penalty taken off because nothing else has gotten that death penalty gone yet. Right? Right? It could be looked at that way. Well, I mean, I don't think so either because he's going for his PhD. He's done all these things. He's held jobs. Relationships, yeah, he's been described as weird, odd, like that glare, like how he just glares. I get it. But he was able to function highly, to get a PhD. I'm telling you, I went through law. No, I wasn't going through another few years to become a lawyer. I stopped at paralegal. I had enough for private investigations, for paralegal, for investigative techniques and stuff. I had enough that there's no way I couldn't do it anymore to become a lawyer. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, even the first couple of years of this, you guys, is mind boggling. You want to pull your hair out. You want to quit. You know what I mean? Like the first stages, the very first stages is you got to know where did our law, well, see, it's different for Canada and the US because we had to go through the BNA Act and where are all our laws and this and that were derived from and how they were joined with other acts. And anyway, the first year is sickening. But once you get past that, you get into some other things that are more interesting and you're more eager to want to learn and read and spend the amount of hours, endless hours studying and but anyway, he did all that, right? Carol says if he pleads out, he should still have to explain the whole thing. I don't think it'll ever come out. If he pleads, if there's a plea, I don't think we'll ever know. Hey, Boo Bear. Boo Bear says, I've been to university, but not for a PhD. You have to be a smart cookie. Yep, absolutely. I mean, and it's not about him, whether he's smart or not. It's about if you can focus and if you didn't already know right from wrong, you learn it real quick. Like that's your first year, right? Like there's so much more to that the prosecution can come back and argue. But she's trying everything. You've got to give her that. She is trying everything because they know at this point his goose is cooked. Right? But that's what I got, you guys. There is a lot more in the record, as you can see. Oh, you guys can't see. Why isn't this coming up? Okay, hang on. Like as you can see here, this record, let me make this smaller. This record, you guys, is huge. And this is just stuff. See, these were just released, unsealed. Remember I told you that the judge was going to start unsealing things? There's things that have been resealed or sealed, filed and sealed, but the judge also said there's going to be a lot of things that are unsealed. This is them here. Like all of this. Um, there's so much here, like all of this stuff that has been unsealed. There's been, look at this. There has been so much that's being unsealed. I can't keep up. Like, and I've been sick and I've been trying to read through all this, you guys. No, I don't believe the incel. I don't believe the incel thing at all. I don't think an incel has anything to do with this case whatsoever. And that's just my opinion. He wasn't planning on Ethan being there with Zena. No, he wasn't. But he must have thought, like, or maybe that Jeep was there a lot. I don't know. Because there was like 5 vehicles, right? There was 5 females living there. So maybe he thought 5 vehicles, 5 roommates, because there's Dylan, Bethany, Kaylee, and Madison, Zena, right? 5. 5 females, 5 vehicles out front. So no, I don't think he was expecting Ethan to be there at all. But anyway, like I said, I'm trying to go through these and see what's important. Like there's some other evidence here um, that they want thrown out, like this inconclusive data. I think a lot of people have already gone over this, but this inconclusive data is they're fighting to keep DNA that was found under Madison Mogan's fingernails. They're saying that there's 3 um, DNA from 3 different people. One they believe is Madison, one they believe is Kaylee, and the other one cannot be ruled out that it's Bryan Kohberger. And so then the defense went and got their own expert that said, oh no, he's excluded. Whereas the one who did um, the testing and everything on it said it was inconclusive. There wasn't enough there to prove that it was Bryan Kohberger, but it could have been. It didn't rule him out. So then the defense went and got their own expert and said, "Oh, it's a sculptor. It's not him," which she can't say. So there was that. Um, what else? There was something else too that I wanted to maybe touch on. Oh, they're trying to really attack Dylan and how she described him. And then she's saying, I thought it was all a dream at one point. Like, you got to remember that these were kids. I mean, they weren't kids like 10, 11, 12 years old, but they were still kids. Out drinking. Hey, I remember my college days. So it's like, you can't judge how you would react in that situation. Being, like, I never did drugs or anything, but I drank. And it's like, oh my God, did that really happen? Like, where did all that throw up come? Who threw up, And meanwhile, you look over at your roommate and they're like, her bed's covered in throw up. It's like, oh, how did I sleep? Because we had 3 beds actually in one big, huge room. And it's like, how did we not smell that? Ugh. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can't judge how somebody's going to react in a situation like that. But it's all going to come out in court. right? It's all going to come out. And what I showed you guys today is just a piece, a piece, because nowhere in there did we see anything about DNA, anything. That was just surveillance videos, right? There's so much more. There's so much more, you guys. And college, our brains weren't developed, they were pickled. Carol. Yes, Boo Bear. The sheath was under Maddie with his fingerprint on it. Well, we don't know if it's his fingerprint. We can't say that. There was male DNA. That male DNA has now been proven to be Bryan Kohberger's. And everybody's saying, oh, it's transfer DNA. There was single source DNA. It came from one person. If it was transferred by somebody else touching that, like say I walked up and put my thumb on Bryan Kohberger's face and then touched that knife sheath. Could I have transferred some of his DNA? Yeah. But you know what? You know what else would be there? Some of my DNA. There was a single source DNA. One person. So it wasn't transferred there by somebody else touching it. It was transferred there by one source. It wasn't multiple sources on that snap. A single source. If somebody transferred it there, say they picked up Bryan Kohberger's DNA somewhere and then transferred it there, their DNA would be there too. It was a single source. So these people that are, it's transfer DNA, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's like, I give up fighting sometimes about it. And it's just like, okay, all right. Do you know how this works? Do you know what single source DNA is? Multiple source DNA is what they found under Madison Mogan's fingernails. Single source is what they found on the knife sheath. Oh, me too, Jean. I quit probably about 7 years ago now. I used to be able to drink like a fish. Not now. Have a glass of wine, you guys. Oh, gosh. It's like, shut down my computer. Don't let me online. But apparently I'm quite funny. But yeah, I don't. And then the next morning I'm sick for 2 days. So, I don't do it no more. And at my age, no. Maybe a glass of wine, half a glass of wine. And it's not like a wine. It's like a sparkling, like a baby duck. Sparkling wine. I'll have like half a glass of that and then I'm toast. At Christmas or New Year's, whatever. But yeah. Yeah, it didn't rule him out. But when the defense hired their own person for that, so, oh no, he's excluded. Well, no. The same as they got this Cy Ray guy that's going to come and testify. This Cy Ray, his technology has been thrown out of many courts. A lot of people are now walking free, had their cases overturned because his software is considered junk science in a lot of courts. He lost his government contract. He is actually now testifying right now in the Monica Cementelli case. I've been watching a little bit of that. As I've been sick, I've been bored. So I've been watching that on Law and Crime. He's actually testifying. And it's like, I can't wait for the defense to get up for this guy. I hope they know about his junk science. He's an ex-cop who said that he was an engineer, who isn't an engineer, anyway. But that's who they've hired is this Cy, and I hope the prosecution goes after him hook, line. Like Colorado judges have totally shamed him because his stuff is known as junk science. So I hope in the Monica Cementelli case they bring that out, because if he's allowed to continue to testify, and that's just one more testimony under his belt that they can maybe use in this case. So I do hope that the defense brings it out. I think she 1,000,000%. If you guys know what case I'm talking about, she had everything to do with that, with her husband's death. But I hope the defense goes hard and brings up that his software has been considered junk science, and a lot of people have gone free after using him as a witness. Huh? That's why the prosecution doesn't use him anymore, because they sent a lot of people to prison on his junk science that they later found out was junk science. And a lot of those convictions got overturned because of it. So we'll see what happens. Thrown out or suppressed in court. She wants it all thrown out, Jean. Okay, so with that being said, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up. We're pretty much done here. Hopefully I'm well enough to do the mini reads on Sunday for you guys. So if you want your very own mini read, come and see us Sunday, 1 p.m. I think I'll be good to go. Right here, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. If you want your very own mini read, come and see us. We do live mini reads on Sunday afternoons. Okay, so with that being said, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for being here and sharing and adding. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll end it like I always do. Please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. Always be aware of your surrounding.